Again, welcome to Java Programming 1. Java Programming 1. Today, our main objective is to go through Java Graphical User Interface, also called Java GUI. We're going to learn at least a minimum of 2 Java packages for GUI applications. So here we're going to learn what is a component, what is a containers, and also how to load an image into a Java GUI applications. So graphical applications, so far in this our class, most of the programs that we are dealing with is a console application or text-based application, sometimes also called a command line applications, where we have a black screen with text or messages. We don't have no graphic or art, or except that we have went through some few applets. Applet also is a graphical user interface whereby we were able to draw some few images. So that in this section, we will go more detail into Java application using GUI. Applets and application are different Java items. Applets is normally used in web applications, and we normally run the applets by using web browser. And normally when we create applets, we also need to create an HTML file for it. By standalone application, which is Java application, this is the first time we are going to use a GUI packages to develop one. So these components, again, will serve as the foundation to programs that have true graphical user interface. Those components, we will go through, we get them from, again, the Java Abstract Window Tools. We may talk about that here. So the GUI-related classes are defined primarily in Java AWT. AWT stands for the Abstract Windowing Toolkit, or sometimes we say Abstract Window Toolkit. And also we have a second package called the java.swing package, or javax.swing. Also recently we have a new package called the JavaFX. JavaFX also make it possible for us to, again, develop Java GUI applications. But that will be a full lecture by itself, so we may discuss that later on. So in this case, how can we develop a Java GUI application? The first thing we need is the packages. We can either use the Java AWT or javax.swing, which is the swing packages, or we can use both of them at the same time. So here we say the AWT was the original Java GUI package. Then later swing package was provided, which had more additional components or versatile components. But again, both packages are needed to create a Java GUI-based program. So a GUI container is a component that is used to hold and also organize other components. Here we are going to learn some few GUI terminologies. So we have graphical user interface containers. We say that a GUI container is a component that is used to hold and also organize other components. So in this case, if I create a GUI application, I'm going to see a window, more or less like what I have on my screen now, which is a PowerPoint. PowerPoints, we have the window. So the whole window itself, the PowerPoint will be called a container. Then we may have a frame. So a frame is the container displayed as a separate window with a title bar. So the container is fixed, we don't see it, but a frame will be inside the container and normally display in the container as a window, whereby we may have menus and command buttons, etc. So a frame is a container displayed as a separate window in a title bar. Also, the frame can be repositioned and resized on the screen as needed. Example, if I'm using Microsoft Word or Excel or PowerPoint or any window, I can resize it. If the window is not occupied the whole screen, which I mean the desktop, I can even move it around. And a panel is a container that cannot be displayed on its own, but is used to organize other components. So first, before we add any GUI elements such as text box and labels, I may have a panel first. So a panel must be added to another container like a frame or another panel to be displayed. So a GUI container can be classified as two types. We have the heavyweight or lightweight. The heavyweight container is one that is managed by the operating system. And the lightweight container is the one managed by the Java program itself. So again, most of the time in this our class, the difference between heavyweight and lightweight containers is not really important, it's irrelevant. But occasionally, there's a difference between, there's a distinction, it's very important. So a frame is a heavyweight container and a panel is a lightweight container. Why a frame is a heavyweight container? Because again, controlled by the operating system. And the panel can be again controlled by the Java program. So we can add the content to the panel as what I mean, the elements. So we start with the elements now, the GUI components or elements. Here we don't discuss much of them, but again, in our next lecture, we may go details. For example, we may talk about what is a radio button, text box, screen area, labels, etc. In these lectures, we're only going to discuss about labels and how to add an image into our GUI application. So a label again is a GUI element or component that can only display a text or an image. So we all know what is a label. A label may be, I have a rectangle box and maybe I display a text, a command, do not enter. Or in this case, I can display a nice image of a soccer player on the label. So a label, we can't do any calculation on it. It's to display an item. Mostly in GUI, we use a label to display our instructions. For example, in the console applications, I may write system.out.println, and then I may ask the user, enter the first value, or enter a number in 2 different lines, or any instruction. Then I may use the scanner class to get the input. Now in GUI, I may use the label to say, enter the first value, or whatever instruction. So we can use the labels for an instruction. So here we say labels are usually used to display information or identify other components in the interface. So let's look at the program in the next slide. This program name is authority.java, and it's going to organize 2 labels in a panel, then display the panel in a frame. So this is the program. So here you can see the first thing we do, again, we import the Abstract Window Tools or AWT package. And we also import the Swing package, javax.swing. And here we are using the asterisk, which means we are importing all the items or the classes in both packages. So our main class name is authority, because the Java file name is authority. Then we have our main method. Again, this is GUI. So the first thing I need to create is my window. It's my GUI interface, the window. Now, the steps to do it, the first thing we have to do is to create our JFrame object. So we have a JFrame constructor. The object name is frame, everything lowercase. And this authority means when I create my frame, the title of the frame, or in this case, the window, will be authority. And we are going to see authority at the top of the window. Now, if I leave this section empty, it means I'm going to create a window with no any title. So again, we know object-oriented programming, we use the new keyword to dynamically allocate a memory place, and JFrame is our constructor. Create an object name frame, and the object type is JFrame, and the name or the title of the frame, the object, is authority. So this is the first thing we need to do. We need to have the object down, the window object, in this case, the frame. Then next, what are the characteristics of the frames? There are so many. The next lecture, we're going to discuss more. But here, the first thing we want to do is that we want the frame. So the frame is object. So we say frame dot. We are using the set default close operation. This is again a built-in method in our class, the JFrame class. So set default close operation. We set it that anytime we close our window, we are going to exit from the program. So we have jframe.exit on close. Again, this is a built-in method in the class. Next lecture, we're going to list some of the, again, built-in methods. So this is, we set it that when we exit, we close the window by exiting from it. So next, we need our panel. We spoke about the panel. So here, we use the class J panel to create our panel object name primary. Then next, we set, so our panel is the actual window that will be displayed. Remember in the theory, we said the frame doesn't display, but the panel will be displayed. So here we set the panel background, set the background color to yellow. Again, set background is a method, a built-in method in the JPanel class. I create the window. I may change maybe any font, any text I have, I can change the font color on it. I can change the background. I can even resize it. Actually, that's what we're going to do next. So after we set the background of the window, we also set the preferred size. So this is a method again in the JPanel class. And we set it to 250 by 75. And that should be our new dimension. Again, we use the keyword new, the dimension 250 by 75. So now we have the place we can see our window. If I finish where I am, I didn't continue here, and I run the program, it's going to give me a blank window with nothing on it. Now we want to put something inside the window. So here we decided to put two labels. We use the JLabel class, create label 1 and label 2. The first label will have an instruction question authority. The second one we have but raise your hand first. So here I'm creating the two labels on my windows. Now when you create the labels, you have to add it into the window. So remember the panel name is primary. So we say primary.add. We use the method add. Then what are we adding? Label 1 and label 2 into the primary. Then next we have to get the content pane. We talk about what is a pane already. So the object frame again dot get content pane dot add primary. We are adding the primary. Remember the primary again, I'm going back one more time. The primary again is our panel, and the frame and the lowercase frame is our frame of. So here we need to create a frame first, then we create a panel in the frame. Then the panel, we can set the characteristics of it, in this case, the background and the size. Now, anytime I create an element like labels, text box or something, I'm going to add it to the primary, which is the panel, not the frame. And that's what we did here. After we create the two labels using the JLabel class, we add a label towards the primary. And I'll go back one more time. The primary is our panel using the panel class. So after that, we get a content pane and add it to the panel. Then we have frame.pack. then frame.set visible true. Now, if we say set visible false, we are not going to see nothing in our screen. So set visible method in the JFrame class make it possible for us to see our window, to see because everything is inside the frame. So we start with frame, get a panel inside the frame, then get the elements in the panel. Then it's up to us what we want to set. We want to see the frame, so the whole window, so we use the method set visible true. So if we run this program, this is what we get. So first we can see that here is the same the two windows are the same. First is the length is very short, so we have two texts. When I increase the length, again, all the text can be on one. So remember we said we want to create our panel with authority as the name. So authority is our title. Then these are the two labels. First label, question authority. Second label, but raise your hand first. So let's go back one more time. So we can see here again, going every time I want to create, I'm writing now console application is more quicker. I'll go straight. Let's say I want to write a program to find a sum of two numbers. If I'm using console application, I'll just declare two variables, set the numbers, write the formula, display my results. But if it's a graphical user interface, the first thing we need to do is to create our window. So I have to set my window size, the background. I need two labels to ask the user to enter two numbers. I will need a text box. The user will put the numbers in the text box. I will need a button that when the user click the button, it will calculate the two values. Then maybe I will need another screen area, some output text box that will display my results. And so all this you have, and also maybe another button to exit from the program. So going is like event driven. Now, when I want to do the calculation, I'm going to click the event, which means event to click, then respond with whatever we have, the code have on click. So it's kind of more work to be done. First, we have to design the GUI before we talk. And also one most important thing, when you create a GUI component and you enter a value, that value, for the value to be displayed on your application, I mean a digit, let's say 100, 200, any value, the data type have to be a string. But when you are doing your calculation, you can't use a string. You want to use int, double, or any data type you are using. So we have a special method called a parse int, parse double, etc. When I want to display my result on a text box, I'll make sure the data type is converted to string. When I want to do calculations with the values, I'll make sure the data type is in int or double and do my calculation. When I get my result will be in an int or double. But if I want to display the result on my screen, let's say in an output text box or screen area, I have to convert it back to string. So we can also have what we call the nested panels, which means containers that contains other components, make up the container hierarchy of an interface. So containers that contain other components make up the containment hierarchy of interface. So this hierarchy can be as intricate as needed to create a visual effect desired. So the following program will give us the concept. Here we have nested two panels inside the third panel. And we should know the effect that it has in the frame resizing. So let's go through the code. Again, we import the same two packages, AWT, Swing. Then our main class name is nested panels. which means our file name is nested panels.java. Here we are going to present two colored panels nested within a third one. So this is how the output will look like. You can see that the blue area is one panel, then we have green and red another panel. So we're going to have two, then nested in the third one. So again, as usual, the first thing we need to create, and even we have three panels, all the three panels will be on only one frame. So always we create only one frame. So here we have JFrame. That's the first thing. More like hierarchy, frame before panel, then the elements in the panel. So as we saw the first example, same here, JFrame, our object name is the same, frame lower cases. This time we change the title to nested panels. Then also we set the default close operation to exit on close. Now we are going to set up our first sub panel. So I create my first panel as the name is sub panel 1 using the JPanel class. So JPanel space the name of the object of your panel, sub panel 1 equal to new JPanel. We are using the default constructor here. Then we set the preferred size to 150 by 100. So we have sub panel 1, which is the object name from the JPanel we just created, dot set preferred size to new dimension 150 by 100. Again, new keyword dynamically allocate the memory space. So the new here means is going to give us the new panel, which the size will be 150 by 100. Then we decided to set the background color also. We set the background color to green. So we use the method called set background. Always it's a built-in, this method is inside the class. So we always have to associate it with the object. So the object name is sub panel 1. So we finish with that section. So the next step now, we want to have a label inside the panel. So we have a JLabel class. The label name is label 1. And we may have instruction 1 on it. Then we are going to add the label into the panel. So sub panel 1 dot add label 1. So we finish here. And we can see how the steps is. First, we create our frame object using the JFrame class. Then we create our panel using the JPanel. Here we decided to do some few things on the new panel that we create. We set the size to 150 by 100. We set the background color to green. That's enough. We finish. Now we create a label, and then we add a label to the panel. And the same thing we are going to do for a second one. So second, we create again a sub panel 2 object from JPanel class. Then we set the preferred size to 150 by 100. This time we make the background color red. So set background color red. Then we create a new label. This time the label name is label 2. As we all know, we cannot have two items with the same name. So we have label 1. This time we create label 2. Then we add the label 2 to the second panel. Now we are going to set up our primary panel now. So JPanel primary equal to new JPanel. This time primary panel will be the actual panel that is in the frame before the other sub panels will be inside the primary panel. So here we decided to set the color to blue. Then what we do, we add the two sub panels into, so this is what we call the nested panels. One panel is inside another panel. So here, instead of add label or text or button, we are adding a sub panel. So the same panel have another panel, and we had the two panels. Then as usual, frame.getContentPane to add a panel to the frame. Then pack, then set the visible to true so we can see the window. So if we run this program, this is what we get. Two options here, depends on the size of the primary panel, the blue background panel. So here, the blue background is one panel. Actually, that's our primary panel. We saw the code, we have the argument when we created it with the JPanel constructor. We have nested panels, so that's the name. Then these two panels doesn't have any title, but they have two labels. The first one is the label have one on it. The second, the label have two. And that's what is right here. Let's go back. The second one, we create a second panel. We set the size to 150 by 100. Then the background is red. And then we create a label 2. And we set the argument to 2. Then we add a label to the panel. So label 2 is the red. We set the background red. Then we add it. So the next section is that we can also use an images. So images also can be displayed in a Java program in various ways. One is the GUI. I can display an image in a label, etc. And that's what we're going to do here. So as we have seen, a JLabel object can be used to display a line of text, like 1, 2, or anything. But also it can be used to display an image. That is, a label can be composed of text, an image, or both at the same time. So a label can have both text and image at the same time. So we have to use the image icon class. So here we say the image icon class is used to represent the image that is stored in a label. Now, if text is also included, the position of the text relative to the image can be set explicitly, which is very important. We don't want the image and the text to overlap, or the text should be inside the image or hiding behind the image. So we have to set the position of both the image and the text. Then the alignment of the text and image within the label can be also set as well. So alignment means we can make it center alignment, left or right alignment. So let's look at an example here. So in this case, again, we import the same as Abstract Window Tools and then the Java Swing package. So as usual, always here we are going to create and display the primary application frame. And the goal here is we are going to display something on our window, but the image that we are going to display on our window, it goes with the label. The label will display it for us. So as usual, the same thing we do, we have to create our frame object using the JFrame class. We set the title to label demo. Then we have frame.setDefault close operations, exit on close. Then we create again, we say we can only, if we are dealing with image, we can use the image icon class. So image icon is a class. So we create an object named icon from image icon class. And the default will be, the parameter here will be the image name. So this is if the image is in the same directory with the program. Now, if the image is not in the same directory, then you have to specify the directory here. But since this image is in the same folder with the program, I just write the image name devel.gif. So here we create 3 labels. Using the JLabel class, we have label 1, label 2, label 3. Now we set the label 1 to devel left, the icon swing constant or center. Then we have a label 2 to be devel right and devel right, and the icon, and also swing constant dot center. But this time we set the label 2, we are going to set the horizontal text position. So we are going to have a text on the second label with an image. So we say swing constant.left. Then the same level 2, we set the vertical text position bottom. So which means the text will be at the left corner and the bottom of the label. Now we have label 3, devil above, icon, swing constant or center again. We set the horizontal text position to center and the vertical text position to bottom also. So next, now we create our panel. The panel name is panel. We set the background color to swan. Then we set the preferred size to 200 by 250. Now, if we have the label and we are okay with the characteristics of the label, here only 2, the background and the size of the label. I'm sorry, the panel. We already created the labels and we have added items on the labels, but we have to add the label into the panel. So we create a panel first, we set the background, we set the size of the panel. Then we add the 3 labels to the panel. Then at the end, we have to set our visible to true in order to see it. So this will be our, again, these images are already there. So the first label, we have an image, second, and the third label. Remember, we set the third label text to center. It's somewhere here, where is it? Yeah. We can go back. You can see that we set the label 3. We set the set horizontal text position to center, and also it will be on the bottom. Devil right for label 2. We have the horizontal left and also bottom. So we can see the text is on the left of the image at the bottom. Here, center of the image at the bottom. Here it should be right of the image. Let's go back one more time. The first label. So we can see the first label, devil left, icon, first center, then swing, swing center. And we can see again the right side. So again, I'm going to end here. If you have any question about these lectures, again, you can make a comment or you can send an email. Thank you. Wish you the best.